Okay, I'm working on a Mercedes today. It had a stored code P2187, or the generic OD2 code would be a P0171 or P0174 for the system running lean. This one was running lean on bank 1, and these have a very known problem for the PCV valves going bad, positive crankcase ventilation valves going bad. And there's not a whole lot of service information on them, so I figured I'd do a little video. This is the valve itself. It bolts to the back of the intake here. It's got one bolt that holds it in, and then it's got a tube that actually runs underneath the intake manifold that goes down into the crankcase system. So the PCV valve on this one was bad and was what was causing the P2187 and P0171. But here's a valve. Like I said, it bolts, the top half bolts into the intake manifold, and then you can see the plastic tube actually runs down below the intake manifold. Let's see if I can get my camera in here so you guys can get a better view of that. Hold on, here's the tube itself, and you can see the clip right there. Yeah. So you can reach your hand down in there, but it's pretty hard to unclip that. You'll probably have to take a little small screwdriver and actually break those tabs off in order to be able to install the new one. So provided you have a new one, it's much easier to just kind of break those tabs off. Then you can pull that out, and really the only tools you need to do this job is a Torx bit to get the bolt out that holds it into the intake manifold. What I did on this one is I actually smoked the intake on these AMG motors. This has a 6.2 liter Mercedes AMG. They have known problems with intake gaskets leaking, so I did have to hook the smoke machine up to it before I pulled this all apart. And all it has is this snorkel that goes down to the back, and that's just held on by two little clips that you can undo with your hand. No tools, you just pop those clips off and that comes up. I put rubber gloves over these snorkels, and then I put the smoke machine to it, and the intake checked out pretty good. There was a small little leak coming from the brake booster into the back of the intake manifold, so you may want to check that as well. But the main purpose of this video is to show you how this PCV valve works and how it failed and why we replaced that. And I'm going to actually disassemble this in the end of this video and show you guys how it worked and how it failed. But what happens when these fail is it's actually going to create excess crankcase vacuum. And you can check that just by pulling the dipstick and putting your finger over it. If you feel a lot of vacuum there, then chances are you have a failed PCV valve. And that's what would be causing that check engine light. In order to get access to this, all I had to do was pull the two air filters out. That's a part number to the PCV valve right there, or positive crankcase ventilation valve. But yeah, popped the air filters out and that snorkel, and I was able to access the PCV valve. And I just want to pull up this exploded view of the PCV valve system on this so you get a better idea of how it works and where it's located. But you can see the black tube that runs down through the center of the intake manifold, and then the one that's number 3 is the actual valve itself. Alright, so we got this the PCV valve here. I just wanted to take it apart and show you guys how this thing works and why this one failed. Basically, we just got a plastic diaphragm inside of here that seals off crankcase vapor from the intake. So one of these tubes goes to the intake, and the other one, this side goes to the intake, and the other one this side goes to the crankcase. So we got this rubber diaphragm that when you have crankcase vacuum coming in through there, or when we have crankcase pressure coming in through here, it's going to push on the back of this diaphragm, and it's going to seal it up against here. So if there's any, protection backfires and stuff like that. But the reason why this valve failed is, you can see, if I can get this up here, this is supposed to, this flap is supposed to hook on the spring right there, and as you can see, it is torn through, and when the spring lifts up, that's just left there to sit. So this thing has just been flopping around inside of there, and that's typically how they fail. I mean, sometimes the rubber will deteriorate if they last that long, but they usually Usually this piece rips before the rest of it. And that's pretty much how this thing works. Just be aware that we will be able to blow through this PCV valve, or a breather, you may want to call it. Not like a traditional PCV valve where if you were to blow through one side you wouldn't be able to, and the other side you would be able to. This one, even if you get your new valve, you'll still be able to blow through it in either direction. It needs a certain amount of flow before that rubber is gonna seal inside of there. So yeah, just a good note that if you can blow through your new one when you get it, it does not mean it's bad. It's still a good valve. So thanks for watching this video. If it was useful, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Flat Rate Mechanic.